excited to be able to teach skincare. It is one of my most favorite things to do. So I am really going to pretend that you are all at my skincare class. So I'm going to probably be looking at some of you and looking for names. And, of course, I'll be nodding my head. And when I nod my head, I know you'll be nodding your head as well. But before I even start with the class, I want to ask you, if you were recruited as a result of being in a Mary Kay skincare class, would you stand up? If you went to a Mary Kay class and you were recruited from that, would you stand up? Or that was your exposure. Okay, great. Look around you. Look at the leaders in this room that came from a skincare class. Okay, when you go to your skincare class, I would love for you to consider, that's perfect, having your packages already packaged up and looking just a little bit prettier than normal, the ones that you just don't unpack, the ones that you carry with you. This is just the Time-Wise Basic in the skinny little medium-sized bag that you can order in Section 2. It is our Time-Wise Basic with just the 3-in-1 cleanser and the age-fighting moisturizer and a foundation, and I always give sponges as the gift with purchase. There, I put them in there, and of course the little bag. And on the back, I always put a color card. So it looks attractive, and it doesn't look real vanilla, and just put a little ribbon around it. You must take that. Of course, the Miracle Set, we already know we don't have to do anything to make it look prettier because it already looks attractive in its own little sheer bag. I love that. And then I want to make sure, of course, you have your complete roll-on. You know, you're packed from, maybe you work from this, maybe you just show from this, but, you know, our travel roll-up filled up with all the products in it. And then the last thing you want to go with is what's in a starter kit. All the products that are in a starter kit. If you want to be smart and make these a little bit lighter, you can go ahead and take the products out and just have the boxes, the empty boxes in there, so that you're not taking inventory and tying it up that you could be selling. And the other thing that I have in here is I have the sheet that you can get on the internet that says introducing the new Mary Kay starter kit, and it's also got an agreement in there with the Mary Kay pin on the agreement, because when they sign their agreement, they get a pin and they get all of these products. So put them in a miracle bag. So I really basically go to a skincare class and teach people to go with 4 sets. So people are generally going to pick one of the 4 sets. That means you're going to have some inventory, and you're going to have to bring in your team members to have inventory, because you need to have that much inventory to be able to talk authentically about the sets. People buy with their eyes. Women buy with their eyes. You can show it to them in the beauty book. It doesn't have nearly the impact that having it in the bags all bagged up and like this. So I have those things, and when I used to do my skincare classes, I had a set that I left on the table and a set in my closing room, so that I didn't have to transport them back and forth. I want the people that are sitting around the table filling out their opinion poll to continually look at the sets, and then I want the people that I'm taking to the other room to do my close, I want them to be able to look and touch and hold the sets on their lap. So I always used to go with 2 full sets of whatever back in the old days we used, the complete collection trays. And then in the other room where you're getting ready to do your close, you want to make sure you have your date book in the other room with your little calculator and your sales tickets all set up in some little area that is away from the table. It is a proven fact that you will have more sales when you are taking people away from the close that you can do at the table, which I am going to walk through, and walk them into the other room. So that's a very, very important thing to be set up when you get to her home, so that you have basically a closing station. The other thing that I always take with me is one of my favorite of the preferred customer programs gifts. I take that with me, and I always have one empty custom compact and one filled up with one of the looks that they can see in their book. Okay, I don't make it up myself. I take one of the actual looks. So I have an empty one, and you'll see why I use that. And then on my beauty books, I always put a heart around my name. Or whatever you want to do to kind of decorate them so they don't look really vanilla. I think it expresses a little bit of your personality. And if you don't have a personality, put it on anyway, and it will express that you want to have a personality. That was mean. I'm so sorry. But we can't be so serious. We have to have fun today. But you know what? I always had fun at my skincare classes. I truly love to hold skincare classes, and I really believe that if you can take your arms and wrap it around a beauty show and fall in love with doing a beauty show, and you get your system down, let me just promise you this, you will never have to learn anything else about this business, because everything will come from the nucleus of the skincare class. The skincare class is the genesis of Mary Kay Cosmetics. Mary Kay never talked about facials. Mary Kay never talked about on the go. Mary Kay never talked about on paper, on face, online. Of course, it wasn't around then. Mary Kay always talked about a beauty show. A beauty show, a beauty show. And she used to say your sales come from a beauty show, your future sales, your reorder business, your team, your unit, your national area. Everything is from the nucleus of a Mary Kay skincare class. So that's all we knew to do in the old days, and that's all we did. We would do 3, 4, and 5 classes in a week. And that was before they came out with TimeWise. And so our classes were really long because we had to educate people on the front end about the 5 different steps. So you can do a class today, I totally believe, in an hour and a half to 2 hours. 2 hours should be the top that it takes you. And when you get your presentation down, guess what? You never have to learn it again. And you have your sets that you carry with you already done. You never have to take those apart. They're already ready to go. Keep them just in a tote bag, ready to go to your skincare class. Okay, when I get to a skincare class, many of you like to do satin hands on people right away. If they all arrive at once, I do not do satin hands on them right away. I'd rather get to know them and talk with them. If they arrive at once, I mean, that's a wrong thing. If they come in oddbally, where one's driving from here, one's coming from here, to not waste time, I do the satin hands on them, but I have the hostess do it over at the kitchen, and then as soon as the hostess is done, she sends them over to me so that I can start having a little bit of one-on-one time with them about their profiles and what colors they like, and just kind of trying to build a relationship with them, because I believe that if you build a relationship with them and you get to know them one-on-one, you won't forget their names. And I think it's really important then for you to take that profile and turn it around, and I used to highlight with a yellow marker their names so that it would pop out at me. So if I wanted to say, oh wow, look at how great Heather's doing with, moving her hands in the right direction, I would be able to refer to Heather's name because I saw it highlighted on her profile in front of her tray. Underneath the tray, I always put an opinion poll. Your director may be able to furnish you with an opinion poll. We've had them for years, because if you don't give everybody something to do at the end of the class, they get up and leave. Everybody has to have a job at the end of the class. And if you put an opinion poll underneath your tray, and when you get done with your clothes, I simply walk them through and I say, well, now that we've come to the end of the class, what I would love to do is I would love to have Amy serve refreshments, and I would love to have Lynn collect all the profiles, because Lynn, in my mind, was the sparkler at the show, and I say, Lynn, you collect the profiles and meet me in the other room because I have a question I want to ask you, and I'm going to go grab a quick cup of coffee if you want to grab one too. And would all the rest of you please just take a couple minutes? The only way I can ever improve my skincare class is if you would just indulge me for a few minutes and fill out this opinion poll and tell me what you thought of your experience today. I really would value your opinion. So those are underneath your tray. So now I'm giving everybody something to do so that because women will do exactly what you direct them to do. And so that's basically what I did, and then I would go into the other room. But I know I just put the cart before the horse, but I want to kind of set up what it looks like before I walk in and do a skincare class. You really have to be prepared, and I will tell you, the preparation will pay you big dividends. Being prepared with your sets, having a set in the closing room, having that opinion poll underneath the tray, as well as a lipstick personality, which is in your folder. The lipstick personality, the tube tails sheet that you have in there, it's so fun, and it's a great icebreaker, and that too is in your packet for you to look at. You don't have to look now if you don't want to. So I'm just going to go ahead and pretend I have 3 people on this side of the table and 3 people on this side. I always seat my hostess right next to me. And I will tell you one other thing that I've always done in all the years of doing skincare class. When I talk to my hostess, I ask her if there's a heckler coming. That's the person that really doesn't want to come. That's the person that wants to be the center of attention. And if there's a heckler coming, I make sure that I know her name in advance, and I make sure that I put that heckler right across from the hostess so I can. You know how the teacher takes the bad little student and puts them real close to her so that they can't do things that they would normally do if they were in the back of the room? I want the heckler close to me. I want to be able to keep my hand on her, to praise her for the way I want her to be, and just encourage her. And use her beauty book as the demo book, and pat her and say, okay, would you do that now? And she does that. So, always find out what kind of people are coming to your shows. And you know how you do that? Through the 4-point recruiting plan. I hope that you know how significant and important and how useful that tool is to know what is the 4-point recruiting plan. The 4-point recruiting plan, very quickly, is nothing more than saying to the hostess, when you have the hostess, Sue, who's coming tonight that you think would be good doing what I do? And Sue says, oh, I don't know. My friends are all busy. And I'll say, well, is there anybody that you think, even if you took the busyness away from their life, who would it be? And she says, oh, my friend Lynn. Everybody loves her. She's cute as a bug. Lynn, she'd be great. Lynn, she volunteers for everything. I'll say, okay, great. Well, Sue, how about you? Is Mary Kay something you'd ever consider for yourself? I'd love you to watch what I do tonight. As a matter of fact, would you help me set up the trays? I set one tray up, I give her the rest of it, and I let her set the rest of it up while I do the closing room. Now I've got my hostess fully engaged in putting the washcloth on the left side, the tray here, putting a lipstick personality underneath, putting a opinion poll sheet underneath, getting a pen and having, the beauty book here with the profile on top of it, and putting the little mascara wand out, and getting the color cards in the center of the table, and just kind of putzing around with the cosmetic PlayStation. We take it for granted. We think it's work. She thinks it's fun. So that's what I do. And then and I just say, how about you? So I've asked her who's coming. I asked her, how about her? And when everybody gets there, Mary Kay always says that you select a sparkler. And I do. I basically say, when I open up my class, I thank the hostess. And then I say, Mary Kay always says there's a sparkler. And you have to pick that sparkler person, and there's a new beauty consultant at every show. And then you offer a gift, a merchandise gift, or a set of glamour brushes, or for a referral for anybody who becomes a Mary Kay beauty consultant. And it's so important for you to remember that kitchen coaching is important, picking the sparkler, offering a merchandise gift is important, offering the hostess the opportunity. That's all important, and it all plays into that one event to make it a full circle. That's how it's called a full circle skincare class, that you're doing all of those things together. I hear so many consultants and many directors who say, because you haven't seen as many skincare classes as we've seen in our day, they say, how do you recruit and sell at the same time? Well, in my belief, recruiting and selling are one and the same. They happen at the same event around the skincare class table. They're like soup and sandwich, horse and carriage, love and marriage. They go together. They're not separated. They are one and the same. And if you have that mindset going into a skincare class, Mary Kay always said, your greatest goal in a skincare class is to say, who are my next 2 bookings and who is my next recruit? If you go in with the mindset that I'm going to get 2 bookings and who is my next recruit, again, you are going to remember the 4-point recruiting plan. Another thing you want to remind them of so that you get bookings from this appointment is the checkup facial. You must talk about checkup facial at least 7 to 10 times in order for women to know that they must have a checkup facial. If you say it one time, it'll go right over their head. It'll go in one ear and out the other ear. By the time they've heard it for the 6th and 7th time, they're going to know that a checkup facial is what comes next. That is a very significant follow-up appointment to a skincare class. So having said all of that, I also have something else in the middle of my table, and it's called a temptation basket. Your temptation basket, it could be a spa lotion, it could be a hand cream lotion, and just pulled up a little netting and tied with a pink ribbon. It could be a color card with a fragrance vial in it. It could be any of the Section 2 samples that you put together and put them in a basket. And I just call it my temptation basket. And it is for those women who will take notes while I talk. Actually pick up their beauty book or their lookbook, whichever you choose to use, and take notes. Okay? So that's another really important sidebar. Okay, so now I'm at the class. Everybody is, let's just assume they've all done their satin hands. They filled out their profiles, and as they're filling out their profile, I am immediately handing them the Time Wise 3-in-1 cleanser and having them squirt it in the first little hole. Then I hand them a moisturizer, and I say, go ahead and put it in the second little tray. Then I hand them an eye cream, and I have them squirt it in. I want them to feel the product. Women buy when they feel the product, and they own it, and they hold it, and they pass it around. I try to do all of those things through the customer so that I'm, again, contacting and interacting with them in more ways than just standing up and trying to conduct the class. I want to involve everyone. Mary Kay always said when you involve people into it, then they become part of the process, and they're fully engaged, and now they're already buying. They are buying. So, welcome everyone. I'm so glad that you just took some time to be here at our skincare class, and I'm really thrilled to be able to share the Mary Kay products with you. I really want to thank my hostess, Sue, because you know what? She's just somebody that I met at Starbucks, and she was so fun, and she fell in love with the skincare, and I asked her if, she wouldn't mind getting a couple of her friends together just to critique her new look and just to try the Mary Kay products along with her, and I told her that her friends would be under no obligation to buy anything, but that they would be able to try everything and play in the makeup. Okay? And you know, when you try Mary Kay Cosmetics and you just really get to experience them, you know what they feel like on your own skin. You know what they look like on your skin. You know what they smell like on your skin. And you know what? One of my goals in Mary Kay is to prevent you from ever making a buying mistake. I'll say, can anybody understand or relate to what buying mistakes are? Those are the products that you bought over the counter, or they were on sale, or somebody gave to you, and you got them home, and you didn't like the way they looked, you didn't like the way they felt, you don't like they smell on your skin, so you know what you did? You put them in the someday drawer. Someday I'll wear that, because you know what? We're frugal. We don't like to throw anything away, do we? And so with Mary Kay Cosmetics, my goal is to help you to never make another buying mistake again. So after we spend our time together today, my hope is that I'm going to walk you verbally through a facial, and then at the end I'm going to take you into the other room, and if there's any products that you want to take home with you, then I'll be able to help you to get those products. Anything you want, I have everything with me today. Well, Sue here today, now this is how I do it, and I'm just going to share it with you because I do it today and I did it years ago. Sue today started on our skincare program, our basic time-wise set, and I'll show what she started with. Maybe she started with the Miracle set, but just for the sake of this class, I'll say she started with our basic time-wise set. And I told Sue she started with one of our basic skincare systems and just invited 3 or 4 friends to share her checkup facial. They would not be obligated to purchase anything, but that she would be able to purchase all of her glamour, any glamour she wants from our Mary Kay book at 50% discount as my one-time thank you for her becoming one of my new skincare customers. And so I want you to know that that's what Sue is going to enjoy today. Now, don't get jealous. If there are any of you who absolutely love the way your face feels, and I stroked my face, and I'll say, and you feel like, oh my goodness, I want to wake up and have my face feel like this every single day, then, and you start with one of our skincare systems today. There's a basic skincare system, there's a Miracle set, and there's a complete collection. When you share your checkup facial appointment with 3 or 4 of your friends, I'm going to give you the same buying privilege because you're a brand new skincare customer of mine, a 50% discount on all of your glamour that day, as a thank you for becoming one of my basic skincare customers. Now, I promised our hostess, Sue, that I would be in and out, and I would begin on time to honor your time. And my goal today is for you to feel pampered, to feel relaxed, and to learn more than you've ever learned in a lifetime about skin over shopping at the counters. So before we actually get started, I'd like to take just a minute, and I want to go around the table, and I want to meet each one of you. And I just want to find out a little bit about you. Tell me what you do for a living. Do you have any children? Tell me what you love about your life, and if there was anything you could change, just one thing, I would love to know what that is. Well, I'm going to tell you something, girls. I did a skincare class last week with Debbie Smith in Indiana, and the 3 women that were around the table, the one woman started to cry when I asked her what she would change about her life. And when she started to talk about what she would change, the woman across the table commiserated with her. They were 2 unfulfilled mothers with small children that wanted to feel they had something outside of their home in addition to their children. It became the most amazing class, right before we started with a product on their face. You know, relationship building is key to having a prospective recruit, and relationship building does not have anything to do with the product. It has everything to do with what you say before they even engage in the actual process of putting the product on their face. Those questions are key. If there's anything about your life that you would change, what would it be? Okay, so then I go around and I find out a little bit about them, and then when we get back to me, I just thank them and I say thank you so much. And you know, I just want to share a little bit about you, about myself, and tell you why I've done Mary Kay for 23 years. You know, and I go ahead and share a little bit about my story, that I used to work in corporate America, and I was an executive assistant for a vice president, and blah, 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 and then I got sick, and I had anorexia, and I ended up in a psychiatric care unit, and they're looking at me like they can't believe that that really was part of my life. And I tell them I've been married for 30 years, and I've got 2 beautiful children today, and I've won 12 or 13 pink Cadillacs, but the personal growth that I've experienced in the 23 years with Mary Kay has far outweighed anything that anybody could have ever taught me any place other than this company. And you know what? You have no idea. And that can be 2 to 3 minutes. I just shared with you 23 years. I condensed it in 1 minute. You don't have to give them all the details, but just give them an outline of why you came into Mary Kay, because wouldn't you agree that why you came in and why you stay in are completely different? Or you've added many more reasons, you know, why you're in Mary Kay today. So, when you're done, you say with a smile, Mary Kay always says there's a new beauty consultant at every appointment, and I'm not sure who it is yet. But you know what? I'm going to be watching for clues. And if you've ever thought about making a little extra income or starting a vacation fund or just plain looking for a new future, let me know at the end of the class, and I'll give you some information that you can take home and look over. Or if you are a person who uses lifestyle CDs, believe it or not, I give out Debbie's and My Lifestyle tape, and I give it out, and I'll tell you why. Because everybody else outside of our area gives it out, and they always call us and order tons and tons, and they say, your stories work. And I have my label on it, and I say, would you mind listening to this story? I would love for you to listen to it. And then I'll just get it back from you when I come to do your checkup facial. So, you know, they know I'm coming back to pick up the tape. It's got my label on it, so I just keep recycling those tapes. My goal is to get at least 2 of those out at every single appointment, or 2 recruiting packets out. But I let them know up front that Mary Kay taught us that there's always a new beauty consultant at every class. You know, one time I did a class and there were 5 really sharp women, and you know what I said? Oh my goodness. I looked at them, I said, you know what? Mary Kay taught me that there's always a new beauty consultant at every class, but you know what? When I look out there and see all of you, I would be hard-pressed to choose just one of you. And so, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to invite each and every one of you to take one of these CDs home or take this recruiting packet home, and I'm going to invite you to be my very special guest and get a manicure Monday night at my success meeting and come and see what this is all about. You think we can move the party to the meeting Monday night? They all came. You can ask Debbie. I remember the night that I had to borrow 5 Mary Kay pins because all 5 signed. All 5 of them. That's what happens when you hold skincare classes. If you're holding 2 and 3 and 4 in a week, which today is only 8 to 10 hours, ladies, I want you to be aware of that, and you extend an invitation to everybody, maybe 2 or 3 will show up out of the 15 that you invited out of your 3 to 4 classes. And that's how you recruit 1 and 2 people every single week and get a gold medal for 17 consecutive months. That's how you do it, through the skincare class. It's not done any other way. And guess what? When people recruit from a skincare class, guess what? They hold skincare classes. They know what a skincare class is because they watched it, they witnessed it, they watched how you invited them. You know, it's just such a natural process, and it's so easy. The system is so simple. It's simple to understand. Simple, uncomplicated. And when you do it over and over again, you become this well-tuned machine, and almost no one will tell you no. You'll sell basic set to everybody, even if it's just the 52. You know, you may start getting really great at selling the 102, but for sure you'll sell the 52. How many of you would like to have a guaranteed 4 women around the table buying 52? That's a $200 class, isn't it? And how many of those women are going to book a checkup facial class to buy all the other stuff, the beautiful stuff, the palettes for half price by just having 3 friends who are not obligated to purchase anything? Does that make sense? You guys, it really does work. And Mary Kay always said, if it works, don't fix it. And we know, those of us that right here, we know that it works. So when you're done, you know, you just go ahead and I'm saying all of this, I'm adding teaching in here for your sake. You know, you understand I'm making points here. It wouldn't take this long otherwise, because I generally get into my skincare class within 5 to 7 minutes. I am into my skincare class. So it's not this long front end, but I'm trying to tell you kind of how all the pieces fit together, because I couldn't type it all out. Sue Ubel started to type it out, and I just added to it, so you can thank Sue Ubel for this script here today. Another thing I think is really important, and let me tell you, women are so aware of being a part of a bigger cause. Women are so aware of supporting each other, as you're well aware after hearing the charitable foundation talk about domestic violence, and after hearing about the cancers that affect women and what Mary Kay is all about. So this piece people don't put into their talk. But I really want you to think about the impact that this would have. If I were just looking at you and I'd say, you know, I just want to share just a few things with you about Mary Kay that you may not be aware of, and it might encourage you to want to become a part of the Mary Kay organization as a customer or maybe even a consultant. First of all, did you know that all of our products are non-comedogenic? Non-comedogenic means they won't clog your pores, and they are safe for sensitive skin, because you do have people who want to know that. Did you also know that we do not test on animals? Mary Kay gave a $1 million grant to the Johns Hopkins University for alternatives to animal testing. You know, at one class, a woman right there stood up and said, I'm your customer, just like that. I mean, she was like, Wow, she was ready to fight. Okay, this is it. You don't test on animals? I mean, she was like into it. That was her thing. She was all of a sudden a customer without even trying the product because we don't test on animals. And I always make a joke of it and I make light of it. I say we test on people like us. You know, there are guinea pigs and there are guinea people. We are proudly guinea people in Mary Kay Cosmetics. National sales directors and directors, anytime we get a box and a survey and we want to be tested for a new product, we are so excited. The other thing is Mary Kay goes around and they do focus groups to find out what women are looking at, what women like, what women want. And I think it's really neat that this company listens. They're out in the field listening. I'm also proud that our company has established the Mary Kay Ash Charitable Foundation to fund research of cancers affecting women today. We've also expanded our support to include programs devoted to addressing the serious problems of violence against women. You know, as part of Mary Kay's mission to enrich women's lives, we want to help women whose safety and self-esteem are being threatened by violence. And then I say, I'm so proud to represent Mary Kay Cosmetics. We are so much more than just putting a cosmetic on the face. Did you know that our compacts are refillable, not to mention beautiful? And I have the compact in front of me. As a matter of fact, I have all of these in front of me so I can just pick them up as I'm talking about them. I have one of these fully filled up with the beautiful look card in front of it so they can see that that card represents the color 101. But I also have an empty one, and I'll say, did you know that Mary Kay compacts are refillable? And I'll say, why would you be interested in knowing that? Because we're a company that is environmentally conscientious. You get to choose the colors that you want. You get to pop in the colors, pop out the colors, pick out the 3 colors of your choice, put the blusher in there, have your lipstick in here. It is your face in a case, and it's customized by you. You know, when you go to the counter to buy cosmetics, you might find a bar of colors. There are 3 or 4 colors. You like 2 of them, and the other 2, you know you'd never wear this one, but you might be able to get along with that one with a certain outfit. So we buy the whole case. We use up the 2 colors we love, and then when it comes down to running out of our favorite colors, we don't use the other 2 colors. We throw the whole darn compact away, and we go and get another one, and it's generally very expensive. Well, Mary Kay cares, you know, and she wants it to be economically, you know, sound for women, and so we get to just pop out the one color that we use and refill. And so I just think it's neat that Mary Kay cares about even the money that we spend, that everything is affordable and everything has logic behind it. So there's just a few of the reasons why I'm so proud to associate with Mary Kay and why our customers have given us the privilege of being the #1 brand of skincare and color cosmetics year after year. And I personally believe that it's the relationships coupled with an excellent state-of-the-art skincare line that are truly at the heart of why our customers are loyal to Mary Kay Cosmetics. So, if anybody bought a lipstick with them other than Mary Kay, would you please pull it out of your purse? I'm going to confiscate it. No. That's what I say at a show. Would everybody please pull out a lipstick? And they kind of look at me and I say, we're going to play a game right now. So everybody pull a lipstick out. Well, they're hustling for their lipstick. I say, now roll it up. And I say, okay, underneath your tray is a personality contest for lipsticks. And, you know, it's in there. And I don't know if you've never seen it before, but they start laughing. They love it. They play with it. It's so much of their characteristics and some of their personality. You almost have to get control back again. But I just want them to have a little bit of fun again and break the ice and have another relationship building thing, just like, you know, you do, just to get people to connect. If people are having a good time, they're going to buy, right? They're not thinking about, I told my husband I'd be home in an hour. Now they're going, I'll be just another half hour, honey. You know why? Because they didn't think they were going to have a good time. And they told their hostess, I can only stay for an hour, but once they get started, because they're having fun, they stay. But you have to create the fun. You have to create that environment. The other thing is I tell my customers, I always tell the consultant, my customers, we have a preferred customer program, and when you become my customer tonight, not if you buy anything, I said, when you become my customer tonight, I'm going to enroll you in my special preferred customer list so that you can receive a beautiful mailing like this, which is, of course, is different from your regular Mary Kay book. This is our regular line. This is our limited edition. It's our regular, coupled with new products that come out 4 times a year. Summer, winter, fall, and spring. We add new trends, new shades, and they're always really trendy, and they're very hot, and they're very nice. And when you get on my little preferred customer list, we always come up with these great little gifts that'll introduce you to products that you probably wouldn't get a chance to purchase before you get all your skincare needs and all of your glamour. This would be one of the last things on your list, so you're going to get an opportunity to try it. And it's a gift with purchase, and I offer it to you 4 times a year. And so I just want you to know to be looking for the mailings, because I'll consider a privilege to be able to put you on my preferred customer list. So whatever cutesy little gift that you like, make sure you take that to your class as well. Okay, so then I close that segment out by saying, so it's my hope that your face will go with me the rest of your life. That is my goal, is that you will fall in love with these products, and you will fall in love with me, and I will be able to service your needs. Now, you've heard me say checkup facial a couple of times. Mary Kay always asks us to give 2 facials. The first one is to introduce you to the product, and the second one is to help you check your progress and to make sure that you're getting the maximum benefits from the products you take home with you, and also to help you to find another look for yourself from the one you're trying today. And those of you that become a skincare customer and invite your 2 or 3 friends, 3 or 4 friends to share in your checkup facial will be able to purchase at a 50% discount at your class as my basic skincare customer. And I know you're going to fall in love with Mary Kay's phenomenal new system called TimeWise. It has boosted us to the #1 position on the scoreboard as the best-selling brand of color cosmetics for year after year. I don't want to tell them how many years because I don't really know. I have lost track, which is why I did not put it in here. But I want you to know about TimeWise. It saves you time, and it's cost-effective to use. The other thing I normally do, which I don't have, is I have the 3-in-1 cleanser in my hand. I have the loose moisturizer in my hand, and all the products that I'm going to be passing around for them to demo with. But I say our 3-in-1 cleanser is a product that does 3 functions in one product. It cleanses, it exfoliates, and that means it sloughs off that top layer of dead skin, and it actually releases a toner onto your skin to restore the pH balance into your skin. It is so great because in the old days we used to have to use 3 products to do one thing. And you're going to get to just experience the 3-in-1 cleanser. And then we have an age-fighting moisturizer. That's the companion piece. And then we, of course, offer you a foundation. And that completes the TimeWise basic system, which is right here. And let me just tell you that in your beauty book on page, and I have them open up their beauty book right away and go to the beauty book, and wherever it is, I think it's page 6. Okay. No, it's not page 6. It's back further. I have them open up the beauty book. It depends on which version of the beauty book you have as well. It changes, and it's changing all the time. Okay, there it is. It's on page 6 and 7. It is page 6. And I just show them the picture of the TimeWise, and I, of course, have the little set here looking cute. And I talk about how that little 3-step program, including the foundation is the blouse that dresses the face. I think that's really important for them to know that it comes in the set, that it's not glamour, it's considered the 3rd and final piece of that little basic TimeWise system, so that they understand that it's going to help protect their skin from the environment, cover the minor imperfection. And I always use that cute little line that you can wear one of 2 things on your face. You can wear pollution, which is nothing, or protection, which is foundation. I also tell them that in all my years before TimeWise, they never printed measured results like Mary Kay does today. And they put the measured results on here. And I also tell the women if they begin taking notes on each page of their beauty book, that I'm going to let them take a choice of a prize from the Temptation Basket, a product preview from the Temptation Basket. That way, again, they are paying attention, they're taking notes, I'm asking them to write their colors down, and then I tell them to take their little beauty book home with them and put it in their phone book where their yellow pages are, so when they run out of product, they call me as their beauty consultant, or they call you as their beauty consultant. So again, I'm giving them instructions on what to do every step of the way, even with their beauty book. I'm asking them to take notes, to personalize it, and then to take it home with them, and to put it in their telephone book so they reach for you and they know you when they're running out of their products. So then what I do is I also show them the day and the night solution. I hold the day solution up and the night solution. I talk about the night solution as daytime. That's why it's white. It has an SPF of 15, which is a sun protection factor of 15. And I say this day solution is the vitamins for your skin. It's the juice. It's the orange juice that you put on in the morning. You know how orange juice revs up your body? This is the juice for your skin. It's vitamins that you put on every single morning. Then I show them the night solution, and I talk about the little pink beads that are inside the gel. And when they pump the little bead, those little NutriBeads are dispersed, and the freshest vitamins are released onto their skin which is what they wear at night, for nighttime hydration, for nighttime vitamins. And I tell them when you take these 2 products and you insert them into these 3, because now they're lined up like soldiers on the table. I say when you insert this one here and this one right here, it gives you the Miracle Set. And the Miracle Set comes in a little fancier bag. It's a bag that you could use actually for a little garden party. If you empty the products out, everybody loves cutesy little bags. This is the Miracle Set. It's the 3-in-1 cleanser, the age-fighting moisturizer, the foundation which protects your skin. It's the day vitamins, the night vitamins. It comes in this bag. And this is the Miracle Set. And the results from the Miracle Set are much different from the results from the basic Time-Wise set. Notice how I keep repeating what comes in the sets and what they do. You know, you are continually marketing and selling the benefits of the products when you talk like this. And you keep repeating what they do and why they need them so that when it comes to the end, they don't just say, I'll take that. They pick one. You're always talking about how it all works together as a set. And each piece interlocks with the other piece to give you maximum benefits. Okay, and then I hold up this little beauty book and I show them the picture of the woman and I say, look at the difference in that gal's skin from using the Miracle Set. But more importantly, look at the results that if you use this over an 8-week period, you're going to have 155% increase in skin softness, 91% improvement in the smoothness of the skin. But the one that intrigued me the most at my age was the 48% reduction in fine lines and wrinkles. That caught my attention. And I decided that I could be this old dog that you could teach a new trick to because I was in love with my former classic Mary Kay, but I put it aside to try this. And I absolutely fell in love with the Time-Wise system, the Miracle Set, because I did see great results. So that is what I would recommend as your personal beauty consultant is the Miracle Set. And if you add one thing, I would suggest you adding the anti-aging hydrating eye cream for around the eyes. And that's like giving your eye area a huge drink of water. And I show them the eye cream. So now I've got all the pieces lined up in the order of application on the table, and I've got the 2 sets on either side so that they're constantly seeing what I'm talking about, and they have options in buying. Okay, I also share with them that when I show them the eye cream, I pass the eye cream around so that everybody can put it on their tray. And I'll say, your eye area has no oil glands underneath it. I don't know if God mixed up, but he put the oil glands on the lids instead of underneath the eyes. And that's why we have a shadow creasing problem. We really need the oil underneath the eyes. So the eye area is the first place we age the fastest, the throat is the second area, and the hands are the third because there are no oil glands. And I'm doing this just like an elementary kindergarten teacher. I say eyes, throat, and hands. They will never forget it. People will listen, they will hear, they will write, but visually, I mean, they're just watching you. So make sure you are very animated as far as showing them the places that they age the fastest. And so I tell them that their eye cream is like giving their area a big drink of water. So I've got in the little notes here that I talk about the Miracle Set and do all of the above mentioned that I just shared with you before I even have them starting on the actual facial. Now, I know it seems like a long time, but it really is not. It really goes by very quickly. And what I would suggest you do is if you like some of this, modify it, take the words out you don't want to use, put it on 3x5 cards until you learn it. Just take a chunk on a 3x5 card and keep it in order, number them, so that you can walk through them just like we used to do. We used to make index cards for ourselves until we learned the script of a beauty show. I can't tell you if you would invest some time. Think about how much time you invest in a college education. And then, furthering your education, you spend years. You could get this down after 10 beauty shows. You would be not using your index cards. It would be just coming right out of your mouth, and you could pass those index cards on to your new recruit when she comes in and give her a beauty show script. Or listen to it on audio over and over and over again. Tape yourself and listen to yourself doing the skincare class. That's how you'll learn as well, because when you learn it, I promise you'll earn more money. In terms of sales, in terms of recruiting, and in reorders, and you've already set them up that you're going to be calling them 4 times a year on the Preferred Customer Program. So do you see how much ground we've covered before they've even tried the product? That's what we do at skincare classes. That is so important to do that. Okay, now at this point I say if anyone has that eye makeup, this would be the time, to introduce the oil-free eye makeup remover. You need to sell the benefits. I don't know if you know this, but our oil-free eye makeup remover is a conditioning eye makeup remover. It conditions the eyelashes while it removes the makeup. Now, I'm going to say that again. It conditions the eye area while it removes the mascara and all the shadow and everything else, even though it's oil-free. That prevents the eyelashes from becoming brittle. I have many people over the years that say, my eyelashes keep breaking off or they fall out. I don't know what it is. And I say, what do you use to take your eye makeup remover off with, or your eye makeup off with? And do you use a conditioning mascara? A conditioning mascara is going to condition the eyelashes. When a woman washes her hair, she washes with shampoo, but what does she do after she shampoos? Conditions, right? Why does she do that? So she doesn't have split ends. Your eyelashes are just hair. If you don't condition them, they will get split off, they will get dry, brittle, break off, and that's why eyelashes don't look pretty sometimes. So if you use Mary Kay's oil-free conditioning eye makeup remover along with a conditioning mascara, I promise you your eyelashes will look better, feel better, and you will have less breaking and splitting. Okay, now it's time to get started. Here's another thing I do. Another idea to keep the class moving is after you've walked them through all the above information, the trays are filled, tell them you're going to set the microwave oven for 8 minutes. When I did this at somebody's house recently, they said, what are you going to set the timer for? And I said, because we're going to do a 3-in-1 cleanser. First we're going to remove our eye makeup. We're going to do the 3-in-1 cleanser. We're going to use the day solution. We're going to use eye cream. We're going to put the age-fighting moisturizer on, and we're going to do all of that in 8 minutes. And the first person to get done, you need to raise your hand, and you get a gift out of the temptation basket. Oh my gosh, they are like neurotic. You know, where's my washcloth? Okay, what do I do first? They're starting to say, what do I do first? Because you know what? A race makes everybody just a little nervous. And you know what? Now they're not talking about the cookie drive and the Boy Scouts thing and the neighborhood thing. They're like ready to rock. They're like ready to do their skincare. So I always say to my hostess, would you set your microwave timer for 8 minutes? And I'll say, okay, everybody, go. And I say, this is face aerobics. When you take the 3-in-1 cleanser, I want you to push it into your face and think, I got to break open that blender bead, and I got to break open that bead so I can exfoliate and freshen at the same time. And I said, massage your skin just like you would, give your face a real workout so that you can exfoliate that top layer of dead skin so you can look as young as your husband or your boyfriend. And I'll say, why do you think men age more gracefully than women? And they'll say, I don't know. Some say shave. And I said, yeah, they shave. They shave that top layer of dead skin off every single day. They shave up. We got to push our skin up. We got to shave off that dead skin, and this 3-in-1 cleanser will do your gentle shaving every single day. So your pores are not blocked. Your skin will age more gracefully. They are loving it. They are understanding why they're doing what they're doing. They're just not applying product. And they truly get done. Some people get done in 5 minutes. Some people get done in 6 minutes. And as soon as they do, I go, oh, we have a winner, but keep going. And she gets her little gift out of the thing, and then I go immediately over to her to help her find her foundation shade. So that's how I do that. I start, the foundation shade is next. And so they do it quickly when you have a little schedule for them. Okay, let's see. Okay, the foundation part, once they're all sitting there and they're ready for foundation, let me just say this. I give a little talk on foundation because I was a non-foundation person. I said to my beauty consultant 24 years ago when she gave me a facial, I don't do foundation. I don't do cosmetics. I think women who have orange-looking faces and they have makeup on their collars and they're covering up a bad complexion, she said, foundation's job is to protect your skin. If you're using a good skincare program, it's going to clear up your skin. You won't have to cover it up. You just want to protect it. I'll never forget those words. My opinion of foundation was somebody would wear it to hide a bad complexion. She said, if you take care of your skin, you don't have to cover it up, you just have to protect it. And I always say, if you've been blessed with nice skin, you have to maintain it. But if you don't love the way your skin looks when you look into the mirror, wouldn't you agree that you have nothing to lose by trying Mary Kay Cosmetics and everything to gain? We have an excellent reputation. As a matter of fact, we are the #1 brand of skincare. That means everything else on the market is number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you name it. We are the #1 brand, most preferred by women. We sell more skincare than anybody else, so why not try it? We have 100% satisfaction guarantee. Okay, so I say foundation is as I said, the way you find it is the shade that most closely matches your own skin tone. And when you find it, I actually teach them how. I take the Mary Kay sponges that you can buy at retail, I cut them in quarters, and I put 1 1/4 of one sponge on everybody's tray so they can put their makeup on with one of our sponges. I teach them to do their forehead first, their nose second, their chin, that's the T-zone, and then go up the sides. And I teach them how to do that. I give them a little sponge, and I act like it's gold, and I say I keep my 2 little sponges for 3 months. That's how long they last me because I am frugal. They are only $2, but I keep them, and I just keep reusing them because they make your makeup go on more smoothly and look flawless, much better than your fingers. Okay, so I even give them those little tips on how to rinse them out. And I'm already selling them on, but you see I say they come as a gift. Your first 2 come as a gift inside your Time-Wise Basic. Okay, so once we've got the foundation on, I just tell them the next thing we want to do is we want to set your foundation. If you do not set your foundation with dual finishing powder or a loose powder, what will happen is you immediately start to want to put blusher on your face because you're trying to make up for the color that isn't on the face. But if you put blusher on a slightly dampened face, you will get what I call blotchy blusher because it sticks to some of the wet part of the face, and some of the face is starting to dry. It's unevenly drying, and so we put a powder blusher on that, and we get a racing stripe or we get blotchy blusher. And so I just want to tell them, how to do the right steps in the right order. So I tell them now, get out your beauty book and turn to the back of your beauty book where there's lots of space, and let's go over the order of application before we do our glamour. See, they're all done now. They're done with skincare. They've done it in about 8 minutes. You add another 5 minutes to find foundation shades, and you really have done that portion of the skincare class in about 12 to 15 minutes. Okay? The other thing you're constantly having them do is writing their colors on their profile and on their beauty book that's going home to sit in their telephone. Got it? Profile, beauty book. You take the profile home, and they take the beauty book home. They're doing your work for you, so you don't get to the end of the class, especially when you're trying to train new people and you say, oh my goodness, what color was she? What color was she? What did she use? They don't have a clue. 304, 404, 202, 105, 304, who knows? You've got to write those things down. Another trick that I always did at my skincare classes, I always had a pen stuck behind my ear, and as soon as I found their foundation shade, I write it on the styrofoam tray. You can write right on the trays. If I do pencils, I just dash the pencil, lip liner or eye definer right across the white part of the styrofoam tray so I know what the color is in case we lose the little sample somewhere. Okay, so I say, okay, ladies, let's just review the order of application. Our oil-free eye makeup remover, and I lined it up on my table. Next, we used our 3-in-1 cleanser. Then we used our day solution. Then we used our anti-aging eye cream, our little age-fighting moisturizer. Then we used our concealer, and let me just tell you about the concealer. This really surprised me in all the skincare classes I've started to hold. At some of my directors' meetings, I put the concealer on, not just underneath the eyes, but on the lid all the way up to the brow, all the way over here as a primer. And I know we have an eye primer, but I will tell you there's something about our concealer that just keeps your eyelids looking light, younger, fresh, and it really is a nice canvas to use and conceal. Most eyelids have brown veins, red stains, blue veins. It's not just underneath here. The eyelids are not attractive, And so when you get an eyeshadow that you think is pink on an already pink eyelid, it looks scary. And if you put the concealer on your lid and go all the way up to your brow and then come around here, oh my gosh, you won't believe how much more beautiful your eyeshadow will look and more true to the color that you really want on your eye. So just try it. Try it yourself. You might be really surprised. So after I've done the order of application, we've done concealer, I always say, I want you to feel your face. This is what I'm saying to the women. Tell me how it feels. I want to get them interacting again. I totally review. I went through the products again, and I say, tell me how your face feels. What adjective describes your skin right now? You wouldn't believe what they say. Soft, baby's bottom, smooth, light, clean. I mean, they love the way their face feels. And I'll tell you what they love even more, how great their eyes look with no eyeshadow on because of the concealer. They look beautiful. You can't believe it. They think they look really great. So try the concealer trick. Okay. Then I'll say, before we move on and put on our basic glamour look, I want to make sure that you have everything written down, that you remember to put your foundation and powder shade and concealer in the back of your profile for me, and for future reference, when you run out of your shade and you need to reorder, and in your beauty book or lookbook that will go home with you so that you have a record of the colors you used as well. That's all written down. Okay. Then we begin with the basic glamour. But again, I show them the sets again. And I just want you to know that when I do a hostess, I give her special attention because I told her I would. They all get to pick color cards. Just lay your color cards out right down the center of your table and just have them look at them. I'll say, not all the colors in here are colors you're going to love. But they're learning colors. They're just shades that you get an opportunity to try today. When you hostess a class like Sue's doing today, then I'll go ahead and we'll just pick a special glamour look for you. The hostess, I do eyebrows on, and here is the order and application. It's already typed out for you. We do eyebrows first, and if you've never tried our blonde eyebrow pencil, you will never sell a blonde eyebrow pencil, but I don't think there's a woman on the earth that doesn't need an eyebrow pencil. The eyebrows frame the eyes like the hair frames the face. And you know, if you get a blonde eyebrow pencil out and try it on yourself, it's magical what it'll do. It'll transform the arch in your eyes. It'll fill in all the little sparse spots that we have. And if your eyebrows are darker than your hair, and most of us color our hair, it's a frosting for the eyebrows. So try it. You'd be amazed at what it does. And another little trick that a lot of people have never used is you can put our icicles on, and you can put them on with one of the Mary Kay Glamour brushes. They go on much more beautifully with a glamour brush than they do with your fingers. So just squirt it in the tray, get a glamour brush, and put it on. You won't believe the difference. Do the mink look at your classes. The mink look is when you put brown mascara on your eyelashes first and you tip in black. And let me tell you why you do that. And I do this on the hostess, and I do one eye, and I let her look at everybody, and they are absolutely dying over the mink look. It absolutely makes the eyelashes look longer. If you do not believe it, let me tell you why they look longer, and I want you to try it because you need to explain this to your customer. So if you don't understand it, write this down. The mink look is when you put one coat of brown all over your eyes. All over. Don't put a second coat on. When you put a second coat of mascara on, you take all the fine little hairs that are not as long as the big ones, and you've clumped them to a bigger hair with the second coat. So they start looking clumpy, and the full width of your eyelash is now compromised because you're taking little hairs and clumping them to big ones. So if you put one coat on, they look wide. They look this way. The width is all there. They look full. When you tip the ends in black, black is darker than brown, so it's an optical illusion. The ends stand out, so even if they're not that long, they look longer. So they look fuller and longer when you do the mink look. And I always say to women, if you have a black mascara at home, great, you need to buy a brown. If you have a brown mascara at home, you need to buy a black. If you have a black brown, throw it away. And they laugh, just like you did, and they buy the one they don't have. And that's how you get them started on our mascara sales. And let me tell you something else I have changed around in my classes. Instead of doing eyes first, since they've got the concealer on, they like the way they look. How many of you have started helping people put eyeshadows on and they don't like it? They think it's way too much, way too bright, not a color that they would use, and they're completely resistant and they shut down after all the work you did on the skincare that they were in love with. Let me tell you how you avoid that. Do their lips first, do their cheeks second, and do their eyes last. They almost don't even want to try any eyeshadow, and they think they look so good without it. Do their mascara first. Do their lips, do their cheeks, and do their eyeshadow last. They love it. You're building from the bottom up. When you put the eyeshadow on and there's no mascara and there's no cheeks and lips, they feel like they've got too much on their eyes, and they're immediately put up their walls of resistance. Put their lips on, put their cheeks on, then do their eyes. Their shadow last, do their mascara. Just try it. Try it on yourself. You know, build your own face and see if it doesn't make a difference. Okay. So when we get all done, here's what I say. I'll say, ladies, I hope that you like the way your face feels. More than anything, we've just added the glamour. I'd love you to take your hands and just feel the back of your face and tell me, how does it feel? And then I say again, I'll say, okay, it's compliment time. Let's go ahead and compliment somebody around the table who you think has really changed, or something you really love about somebody's new look. And they start complimenting, and they go crazy. They say, oh my gosh, your eyes, oh, your cheeks, that lip color, I've never seen you in, a liner like that. And they start complimenting each other, and it makes just a really good relationship building time again, and it helps them to feel pretty. And there's something else that I say. I'll say, well, ladies, we know the glamour is great, and the skincare we know is number one. America has made our skincare number one, so we know women are getting results. Mary Kay said something really cute, a line. She used to say, how old you are is your business, and how old you look is mine. And Mary Kay used to say that when they were filling out their profiles, and she'd say, well, I know there's a line on there for the birthday. You don't have to fill out the year, because how old you are is your business, but how old you look is mine, and I'm so glad that I get to introduce you to Mary Kay products today. And I thought, what a cute little thing, Target your audience and see if that's something that you can use. But when I get done now, I do the closet close. And the closet close is something that I think Mona Holte, a national sales director, created years ago, but it always worked. After they compliment themselves, then I'll say, okay, here's what we're going to do now. I want you to think about an outfit in your closet that makes you feel like $1 million. It might be a great suit, might be a great pantsuit, maybe it's a great pair of jeans and a sweater. It's just your outfit that when you walk into a room, you turn heads, even if it's your own. And I'll say, think about that outfit. What did you pay for that outfit? What did you pay for that outfit? Even if you're a bargain shopper, do you think you might have paid $50, $100? Because see, this little set right here is $50, maybe $100. Maybe you accessorize with jewelry, shoes, a scarf. What is an outfit without all the accessories? So that basic outfit turns into sometimes $100, $150, $200. Is there anybody here that might have even spent upwards of $300 for a great outfit? And you know what? Some at the class will shake their head. Very few will disagree with you. Because I started at $50, $100, $150, and they start laughing. When they're laughing, it's because it's getting into their neighborhood of what they're spending. And I'll say, well, when you have that really great-looking $1 million outfit, can you wear it every day? And they just laugh, and I go, right. You can't, because if it's that killer, everybody will remember it. When I worked in corporate America, I had my suits on a rotation because I didn't want to wear them. Stacy, you're shaking your head. You got the same thing going. You go, I can't wear this. I wore it last Tuesday. I got to at least wait 10 days before I can wear this one again, don't you? If you work, it's a big deal. Your image is important. And I'll say, we spend that kind of money to outfit ourselves. Do you know what the first thing is when people see us? What is the first thing they see? Your eyes. People make eye contact, your face. The outfit that dresses your face, the one you wear every single day, is a great investment. And you can start out with any one of the Mary Kay sets. My personal recommendation is start with skincare. I've been in the beauty business. I've seen results. I would start with at least this set right here. The basic time-wise 3-piece set, the 3-in-1 cleanser with the blending beads, that release the toner and exfoliate. Again, you're repeating again. The oil-free moisturizer, the age-fighting, and of course the blouse that dressed your face, your shade of foundation. And in here I've thrown in a little pack of those magic sponges that make you have a flawless look. And it comes in this great little bag. It's portable, you can take it with you. That's only $52. But remember, there's day and night vitamins. You might want to consider adding the juice, the day and night vitamins. That's everything in this bag plus that, and that's $102. Now, I always offer a gift with purchase when they start with the Miracle Set. You may want to offer a purchase with purchase, like the eye cream at half price, because I always tell them they must have an eye cream. Or you might want to throw in something as a gift with purchase, whatever you choose, maybe an eyeshadow, $6.50 eyeshadow, and they may say, well, gosh, I might as well go ahead and get the other two and fill up my compact. So I always make an incentive. The little sponge is an incentive in here, and I always offer, it could be a nail polish, it could be an eyeshadow. They're about in the same neighborhood. And then, of course, I'll say, and then there's the woman who wants it all that just says, you know what, I just got to have it all. And you would want the You Deserve It All set, the full, complete Mary Kay set. Great for travel. It's got the nifty pockets that rip out, and if you just want to go, take this up to your upstairs bathroom and take a quick little shower and clean yourself, you got this little guy. If you just want to take your body care products, this is the You Deserve It All, and I hang this up so that they can keep staring at this with all the pieces in it. I don't name prices on this. I only name prices on these two things, because I don't want to scare people away, and that's just my own hang-up. So if I take it in the other room and I say the You Deserve It All set, when I'm closing one-on-one, I say it goes anywhere from $200 to $300, depending on what products you personally want to put in there. Okay? But I am a real proponent of selling one of these and booking them with 3 friends with a 50% discount to get all their glamour. And I can tell you, the days of my consultantship, I was booked 3, 4, and 5 weeks out, and I would pray for cancellations because I was exhausted. That is the truth. And that happened because I always offered them to buy the basic, to start as my customer, and to turn their glamour appointment with no pressure for the friends to buy. That's why I didn't do hostess credit, because it was predicated on what their friends bought. And I don't like 10 and 15 and 20%. That doesn't work in my brain as anything free. When somebody says 50% off on Glamour for becoming a skincare customer, I'm there. I want it. And that's why it has to be what works for you. You have to be excited about what you're promoting, or it will never work. It only works when it works for you. So figure out, as Phyllis said, figure it out, whatever it is that you want. Okay? Then the last thing I do to get them into the other room to close is, I said earlier, I pick the sparkler. And I already told you how to close. You say, okay, now we're going to go into the other room for our one-on-one consultation. So if there's anything you want to take home with you, I don't care if it's the mink look or if it's a You Deserve It All bag. I think I respect your privacy. You can take your products home with a MasterCard, a Visa, a Discover card, checks, or cash with references today. They laugh. And I say, what I'd like to do is I'd like to have the hostess go ahead and serve the refreshments. Lynn, I would love to ask you to do me a favor. Would you please collect everybody's profiles and meet me in the other room? I have a question I want to ask you. And also, I'm going to grab a cup of coffee, so I'll see you in a minute. And would everybody else please just take a couple minutes and fill out the opinion poll underneath your pink tray so that you can help me evaluate what I can do to make my presentation more effective for my future customers and more effective for you. And I really would value your opinion. And then what I do is one more thing. I have them help me clean up. This will be your favorite idea of the day. You know the little snack baggies, not sandwich baggies, the little skinny snack baggies. I pass a little box of snack baggies, and I have everybody take one out and pass it around. Then I pass around the gallon, whatever it is, the big gallon baggie. And I'll say, would everybody do me a favor, if there's any samples that you want to keep, anything that you tried that you didn't use, you only use a little bit of the lip gloss, you want to take it home and try it tomorrow morning, you want to take your little definers home, whatever, put it in the little baggie. Put your little sponge in the baggie, because that thing will go for another couple weeks. You know, just like that's what they're going to continue to use. And would you take the gallon baggie and go ahead and put your styrofoam tray in there, your washcloth, and all the little papers and anything that you don't want. That's our little trash bag, and I pass that around. Then I pull out a roll of paper towels and Windex. And I'll say, anybody who cleans their little mirrors and passes the fingerprint test gets another gift from the temptation basket. And they clean their mirrors, the whole mess is cleaned up, and I'm in there closing with the guest. And I take Lynn into the other room, and I take off my shoes, and I get down on the floor, and I put Lynn in a chair, and I'm down here, and I always say, and Lynn hands me the profiles, and I say, Lynn, did you have a good, I got to do this because my boots are too pointy. I'll say, Lynn, they're curling back. Lynn, did you have a good time tonight? Lynn, come here. Get that chair, and just come over here. I need a face in front of me. So Lynn, I'm sitting down lower than Lynn. I want you to know this. This is really important. Lynn, okay, so I should be down on the floor. And Lynn is up. Yeah, get up here. It's more authentic. Okay. Can you get up there, you cute little thing? Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm sitting down, and here's the coffee table, and here's my date book, and here's the sets, and here's Lynn. And I'll say, Lynn, did you have a good time tonight? Okay, I'm sure you're wondering why I asked you to come in here, aren't you? I knew you would be. You know what? I'm going to tell you. Remember earlier I said at every class I always pick a couple people that I'd like to have as my future hostesses, that there's a sparkler at every show? Mm-hmm. You're that sparkler.
Oh, you think so?
Totally. Wait, you were like in command of that show. Everybody appreciated what you said. You were the greatest encourager, and you know what? I would love to start you on skincare and have you host a skincare class, but more than that, I want you to take the CD home, and I want you to listen to it, because I really would love for you to give me your opinion of what you hear, because you know what? You're the type of person I would love to work with, and I know it probably isn't even on your radar screen right now, but I think you would be an awesome Mary Kay Beauty consultant. I just think your personality is really wonderful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so after trying everything tonight, I just waved a magic wand over your head. Money is no object. What would you start with? Would you start with this You Deserve It All kit? Remember, that's anywhere from $200 to $300. The Miracle Set, which is $102. Or would you start with the basic tonight? What would be your choice if money were no object?
Well, if it was no object, I would take the whole thing. I really liked it.
Oh, good. Well, I know what your heart is then. What's your pocketbook say? Which set would be best for you to take home? Knowing that if you have a class exactly like Sue did, I can help you get 50% off on your whole wish list of glamour.
Okay, well, I think probably just the basic skincare.
Okay, that's a great decision.
Eye cream
Absolutely, you can definitely get the eye cream with that. So we'll go ahead and get the basic, which is exactly what you need. You know how to use it. We'll immediately book an appointment. I pull my date book over, and I put the date book in Lynn's lap. I mean, I actually physically put it in her lap, and I'll say, Lynn, I do classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturday mornings. Which of those days would be better for you? Is it Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday a better day for you?
Is it Tuesday, Thursday evening, or daytime?
Yep, they're nighttime. I do nighttime appointments or a Saturday morning.
Probably the Saturday morning.
Okay,
I
super.
work, so Saturday
Okay, well, my first Saturday is in about 5 weeks, so I'll put you on my cancellation list.
Okay.
You guys, I'm serious as a heart attack. How many of you would go to a hairdresser who is open anytime? A good hairdresser is always booked. So is a busy, productive Mary Kay consultant. And sometimes it's great to do that and say, well, Lynn, is there any way you could kind of clear something for a Tuesday or a Thursday? Because I do have a Tuesday coming up in 2 weeks.
Well,
You
go
know,
ahead and put me down.
let's do a let's
What
make it.
Tuesday is it?
So I tentatively book her. And then I send her into the other room, you know, and she goes out with her little bag because I always used to have my product in the other room to close, and I would immediately put it in the bag. And another thing I used to do, because I'm so anal, is I used to hand them a strip of labels and have them put my product label on their products. So I didn't have to do that when I was home. And they would do it, and I'd say, make sure it's straight because it's on your product in your bathroom. Now, wait, is that really queer? But you know what? I used to give them something to do while I was writing up their sales ticket, so they weren't having buyer's remorse. You know, activity to keep them happy. You guys, those little things help. They make a difference. And then I have her write up her sales ticket, her address and stuff. And I say, Lynn, would you do me a favor? Would you please tell, okay, let's see, I can't see a name. Would you tell Mary Jane to come in? So Lynn goes out. She sends Mary Jane in. Okay, so, yep, you go out. Now, Mary Jane comes in, and Mary Jane is a very quiet person. Mary Jane is also, okay, Mary Jane, let me tell you something else about Mary Jane, because I've observed her, just watching her watch me and taking notes. Mary Jane pays attention, and Mary Jane is a quietly excited person. She would never go, yay, I don't think. Right? No, you would? Okay, well, she doesn't look like that type. Okay, she's been in Mary Kay long enough that she would, but she's even conservative in her excitement. She's conservative. So I would say, Mary Jane, I'm sure you're wondering why I have Lynn send you in next, aren't you? And I'm shaking my head going, aren't you? And I'll say, you know, at every class I always choose 2 people I'd like as my future hostesses. And you know what? I chose you, and I chose Lynn today. You know why I chose you? Because you are such, you paid attention, and you did everything that I asked you to do. As soon as I said take notes, you were the first one to start taking notes. You just paid attention. I really appreciated that. You are a great student today. Is there any reason why when we get together for your checkup facial, because I'm just assuming that you took such great notes that you're going to take some skincare home with you, that we couldn't get together and help you get all your glamour for 50% off?
No reason why we couldn't.
No reason why we couldn't. You want a no answer. And you know, I look at them, and you can kind of read people, and once you've built a relationship, you can go ahead and say those kinds of things. And I would say to Mary Jane, I'd say, so Mary Jane, you just won the lottery. Money is no object. What set would you start with? Would you start with the... Oh, she wants it all. Oh, my goodness. Well, then we'll do the whole spot 50% off. We'll send you home with your deserve it all bag, or I want it all bag, or whatever you guys call it. And we'll go ahead and book you, and when we do your second appointment, maybe we could do a spa event, or we could do a pedicure party and just do feet and put feet in buckets, and we'll do, you know, satin feet, and I'll introduce you to this private spa so that you can get something at 50% off for gathering 3 friends together to critique your second look. I'm so excited. Well, here's my date book, you know, and I go ahead and say, I do classes on Tuesday night, Thursday night, and Saturday. Which of those times would be better for you?
Probably Saturday because I work.
Okay, you work. Okay, Saturday. Wow, well, that'd be perfect because then people could have their feet done. They could feel really pretty, get a manicure or a pedicure, and just be ready for the whole weekend. People love to do that and relax. So, okay, let's go ahead and find a Saturday. But I send her out with her bag. And you know what? It used to take me a whole long time to get all their products together, honestly, you know, which is, you know, why you kind of got to give them something to do and tell your hostess, you know, like chat with them and serve refreshments or whatever. But that's how I did it. When I'm done with Mary Jane, then I say to Mary Jane, I'll say, Mary Jane, would you tell so-and-so, because I have their profiles, that I'd like to see her next. So she comes in, and I don't say at every class I always choose a couple people. I say, Susan. Hi, Susan. I'll say, did you have a good time tonight? Yes. Okay, Susan, after all you heard tonight, what was something that you might have learned that you never heard over a lifetime of counters?
No oil glands.
No oil glands. Okay, great. Okay, here's the 3 sets. The You Deserve It All set, the Miracle set. Which set, if money were no object, would you take home with you tonight?
You deserve it
Oh my gosh, these women are big time spenders. You deserve it all. This is a $1,000 class. But they're Mary Kay people too. They're already convinced. So you see, and then I would say to her, I'd say, now, if she'd start out with just basic, I would say, well, Susan, you have some options here. Since you're starting out as one of my new skincare customers, we could go ahead and schedule a checkup facial for you. And at that time, we could get all of your wish list glamour at 50% off if you'd like to share your appointment with 3 people. You know, how does that sound to you? And I just go ahead and book a class with her if she's willing to book. You can book every person on that plan of skincare, and then book them to get their glamour at 50% off with just sharing it with 3 friends that don't have to buy anything. They just have to show up, because you know what they're going to want? They're going to want it in the basic and get their glamour at 50% off, because that's what friends do. And it starts an absolute amazing trend of selling skincare. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So you can see that I've covered a lot of objections. I've given them choices. I've given them options. I've got my sets in place. And I will tell you, if you can just get this little thing together, and you'll build confidence. And when you build confidence, you'll build sales. When you build sales, you're going to build an amazing recruiting future for yourself as well.